Okay, I'm going to try this again. It said that my connection was poor or something, so it paused or stopped, and so I could do it on my computer, but I don't really know how. I was just saying that every time I go live, there's a new layout or whatever, and so I don't ever know what or where the comments are. Hi, Leah. Hi, Angie. Oh, I think it's this comment bubble. Oh, okay, cool. Hi, I can see that. I hate going live, or do you guys see this? This is like hives because I hate public speaking. I just, I get so nervous, and I absolutely hate it. And so I break out and I get really nervous. But I just have got to talk about, I just have to talk about stuff. I'm going to wait just, a second to see if anybody else comes on. And then I think I should be able to save this to where people can view it later. But I'm not sure. Yes, I have my see something, say something shirt on. It's super cute. You can see the back of it. I am actually picking up the long sleeve ones today. Once I start talking, I'm going to try to sweep away to the comments to where I can't see them. Otherwise I'll get distracted and lose my train of thought. Leah, I think yours is in the mail. I think I mailed it out yesterday. Okay, so now that there's a few people, I am going to start, and forgive me whenever I stutter and when I lose my train of thought, because I hate live speaking. So I know I can't wait for you to get it either. Okay, so I'm going to try to sweep away from these so I can't see. Okay, there we go. So seriously, guys, come on now. Like, this is crazy. Does anybody else do this whenever they get really nervous or whatever? Anyways, okay, so I have basically been sitting back and, sitting here with my mouth shut, since all of this started, a year and a half ago. I, have been, although like I've read so many things that are inaccurate, there's not a single, news station that has gotten all of the facts straight. And that's just kind of to be expected. But, I've been waiting for the trial to come, because I just have not wanted to say anything, I don't know. I just have not wanted to really talk about a lot of anything until after that. And now I'm getting to the point where I'm like, okay, well, I don't know when the trial is going to be. And there are, in my heart, I feel like at the end of the day, this could have been avoided. This, Lincoln passed away. It was an isolated incident, an isolated child abuse incident. Lincoln was not an abused child. This is not somebody that I, started dating right away and just, welcomed him into my home and said, hey, come hang out with my kids and I'm going to go, up the street to a bar or something, we dated for, 6 months before he ever met before he met my children. We had been dating for a year when this happened. He had never babysat my kids. He had never, he had never been solely responsible for, any of my children. So he wasn't babysitting. He wasn't, taking care of, he was not, responsible for him. I was building a cabinet upstairs covered in sawdust. Lincoln woke up. He, I was going to wash my hands and stuff. He, carried him downstairs to get him a bottle. He was not, he wasn't babysitting. He was, it was 3 minutes from the time that he walked downstairs to the time that he carried his unconscious body into my kitchen. And so this is not, there's been a lot of things said about, how could I be upstairs and not know that this is going on downstairs? Or, Lincoln was unconscious immediately. There was, he didn't, there wasn't crying. There was not, the first time, the first blow, he was unconscious. So I had no idea what was going on downstairs. And trust me, I will beat myself up about that every day for the rest of my life. That's something that I have to live with. But, let me get back to the point of this. I feel like, this person had, I just can't believe that this person skated through 35 years of life, and without any red flags. He has, 4 children. I don't feel like people turn that kind of evil overnight, and come to find out there was issues, with children in his life that, he had an abusive history. A background check wouldn't have worked. So many people are like, you got to check who you let in your house. His background check would have came back squeaky clean. This was not somebody who, had, a rap sheet, or who was, an abusive person. When you think of this kind of thing, you don't think, that it would happen with this kind of person. I mean, he was a doctor, for God's sake. That's the last person that you would think would come in your home and hurt your child. So, it's frustrating, because, come to find out there was a history of this, and it all resorts back to, failure to report, people, not reporting child abuse. It doesn't matter what that person's profession is. It doesn't matter what their relation is to you. It doesn't matter their ethnicity. It doesn't matter their social standing. It doesn't matter who it is. We have so many people that are standing up and screaming at the top of their lungs for everybody's rights. But we have nobody standing up and screaming for kids' rights. And children are voiceless. Children they are voiceless. Somebody has to stand up for them. And we've got, and I'm not even going to get into this, but everybody, across the nation is going to stand up and fight, for countless things, but none of those things are child abuse. And almost not really a lot of them have anything to do with children. The people that cannot stand up and fight for themselves, that are literally impossible. It's impossible. They're not capable of doing it. Nobody stands up for. Nobody speaks up for. And so, I feel like it's human nature, to, I know before this happened to me, scrolling past something child abuse related. Nope. I'm going to scroll real fast past that because that's sad. And you know what? Like, I, don't want to like dim the light on my happy day. I don't, and you don't want, if it's not directly affecting you, you don't want it to, you don't want to be sad over something, so you're not going to see it. You're not going to read it, and you're not going to know that, we have got a major, major issue, with, child abuse. And I know Oklahoma, I don't know exactly where we stand because, each state, hold on, I'm sorry, my thing's flashing. Okay, wait, here we go. Each state has their own laws on what, constitutes child abuse. So one state, and so it's hard to see where we rank in the nation, but I know that we suck. I know that, failure to report child abuse in Oklahoma is a misdemeanor. That's it, a misdemeanor. Doesn't matter, if that results in the death of a child. It doesn't matter if that results in, it's a misdemeanor, and that's crazy. That is so disgusting. And there's only a handful of states where it's actually a felony, which is even crazier. You would think that is such a serious thing. You would think that it would be, I don't know, it's nuts. But, we crucify DHS, and talk about how they fail children, and they do, don't get me wrong. They fail children. But there has to be accountability other places. We can't stick it all on them. Those people are overworked and underpaid. And, yes, like that DHS worker maybe should have seen something, but what about the school photographer? What about that child's teacher? What about their neighbor? What about their great aunt Mary? Or what about, their doctor? What about their friend's mom? There's so many other, and people are so scared to say something because we want to mind our own business. And, I know that being falsely accused of something sucks. One of my really dear friends, was falsely accused of something this last year that, he lost his kids. He had to do supervised visitation. He lost his job. He was facing felony charges. He had to go to jail. Horrible things. He was acquitted, and now he's moved on with his life. And as bad as that year sucked, I promise you that he would go through that a million times over. He would much rather do that than actually something happen to one of his kids and somebody not say something. And, I just, it's frustrating to me, and I want to try to keep this short because I know that, like, once I get rambling, I can ramble on and on and on. I didn't know, this person, I didn't know that I was in, a dangerous spot. This person had never even, he'd never raised his voice at me. He had, definitely had never hit me or physically abused me. There was, I've never been in an abusive relationship. I've never been, physically assaulted or anything like that. And so I didn't know, I didn't know what, looking back, there were some warning signs. Now looking back, I see, but there were not red flags. This wasn't someone, there wasn't drugs or alcohol. There wasn't, it wasn't like he wasn't educated on coping skills or, all of these things that normally happen in these types of situations. None of them were present. So I truly believe that had it been reported, you know, that he had a violent streak, you know, I never would have dated somebody that had any child abuse, you know, allegations or any, that's just not my, I've never dated felons. That's just never been my thing. So, you know, I truly believe that Lincoln would be here. For the life of me, you know, I will never understand why, if it's your husband, if you feel like, you know, if he's, you know, getting into, if, you know, if it goes beyond spanking, you know, I'm not saying go call DHS and, you know, but get help, do something, say something to somebody, you know, figure out if what he's doing is beyond, you know, if it is child abuse or if it's discipline. Figure out, like, you know, if you see something that is not right or doesn't look right, you know, just call. You can call anonymously. There are so many ways to report, and so many people. If you Google failure to report child abuse and click on news, you will see pages and pages and pages of stories just hourly. They're just continuously getting posted, and a lot of them are schools, and that's disgusting. Obviously, that's horrible. We trust these people. You know, you want to believe that, you know, they will protect your kids and that they would stand up for them. You know, God, if nobody's going to stand up for them at home, you sure as shit hope somebody's going to stand up for them at school, you know? But it's just really frustrating that people, and I don't know if people think like, oh, well, so-and-so is probably going to report it, or maybe this is, maybe this isn't what it looks like. I'm sure this is a fluke. You can't do that. You know, 5 children die every single day just in the United States from abuse and neglect. And, you know, those are just the cases that are reported. God knows how many, you know, it's frustrating. I mean, it's just, it frustrates me to no end. And, okay, sorry, I'm trying to go back and look at some of the comments now because I had to turn it off so I wouldn't get distracted. Oh, thank you, Ashley. And I know, and I feel like, you know, like I know what kind of mom I am, and, you know, other people know, you know, people that know me know what kind of mom I am. But I just want people to know how easy it can happen. You know, this case is, the exception to the rule. This is not something that you see every day, or that you, but there are different aspects of this case that I feel like, you know, are in issues and, you know, day-to-day issues. And, so that's why I just feel like I've got to talk about it. You know, every single day we turn on the news, and even if you don't watch the news, you know, if you have a news app, it's popping up on your, you know, notifications, another child has died. And if you don't have an app, then I know you have social media, and it's going to pop up on there every single day. Every single day. Kids are dying, you know, and it just takes, you know, 5 minutes, and I want so badly, you know, for failure to report child abuse to be, there's got to be stiffer laws against that. That's crazy. For it to be a misdemeanor? Are you kidding me? You know, like, it blows my mind. Sorry, I'm going to keep reading through these. No, yeah, I know he is. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Ooh. Okay, so some signs that I see now. He would get irritated if I didn't respond back to text message, or he wanted me to share my location and on my phone, and if you are an iPhone user, then you know that you can share location. He, you know, his excuse for wanting that was, you know, to make sure that I was safe, you know, just because I am infamous for not responding to text messages, because I'm not the type of person that always has my phone on me. I just am busy with kids. I'm just a busybody. I'm always doing something. I'm working on something, cleaning something. And so I don't always have my phone right there. And so when I did start sharing my location with him, I think maybe if I was connected to Wi-Fi, something would throw off my location. Or if I wasn't connected to Wi-Fi, then it would throw off the location. And he, you know, he still never raised his voice. He never, you know, cursed at me or anything, but he would instantly start, you know, like, where are you at? What are you doing? You know, what's wrong with your location? Are you okay? You know? And he would always try to make it seem like he was just concerned. But looking back now, you know, there were a lot of controlling, you know, issues. He at one point, I didn't find out until months later, he had cloned my phone. And when I thought that he was reading my text messages. I thought that he was just looking at my phone, reading my text messages. I knew that he was seeing my text messages because, there were things that I would say, that he would say word for word. And then months later, I found out that he had cloned my phone. You know, certain things, you know, just always checking up on me. I don't want to say, like, if someone's checking up on you that they're a psychopath, but, when someone's going overboard, you know, and I would get annoyed with it because I'm like, hey, I've managed to live this long, you know. I think that, you know, I think that I'm fine. But then I just kind of took it as, you know, I was annoyed with it, but I never thought it was, you know, I never thought that there was, any warning. You know, I didn't think that it was, anything to be concerned about. Okay, so with your state's laws, I'll add a link onto here that shows every state's mandated reporting, failure to report laws, and I'll add the link on here and it'll show all of the states, and you can see, I mean, it does take a village. Is it buffering still? Well, can somebody tell me if it's back on? And then I'll scroll back up. Am I buffering? Anybody? Can you guys? Oh, okay. Thanks, Tony. I'll add that link on there. You know, I have been fighting to get our capital punishment laws, our capital punishment factors are a joke. And, so ultimately there's two laws that I really want to have, corrected or adjusted. And one of them has to do with capital punishment. And the other one has to do with failure to report. And I've looked more, I've researched more into the capital punishment than I have the failure to report. I just can only dig into one thing at a time. But like I said, I'll share that link, and I don't know like I said, there's a handful of states that it is a felony. And I don't know what those states have done, to get there, or how they have, managed to make sure that it's, a felony in that state, but I'm going to have to look into it. Back on, thank you. No, there's not. Well, no, there's not. There's, capital punishment. In Oklahoma, we have 8 capital punishment factors, aggravating factors. And for someone to get the death penalty, you have to meet one of these circumstances, one of these aggravating circumstances. And he doesn't meet any of those. I'm going to do another video at some point over that, because I've tried to type it. I've written on the petition that I started in regards to that, I tried to spell it out pretty well, but some people are still struggling to understand. So I'm going to do another video on that at some point soon. But I'm trying to think. Yeah, I know, it's disgusting. Well, it's a nightmare, honestly. Oklahoma has, our aggravating factors are garbage, basically. But, they get worse. I know in Missouri, it's illegal, it's an aggravating factor to be involved in drug trafficking, but not to kill a child. So that's blows my mind. Oh, and also to, drug trafficking, and if you kill an inmate in a correctional facility, that's an aggravating factor, so that's, you can get the death penalty over that, but still killing a child is not, which is just blows my mind. So if you guys live in Missouri, you guys need to do your research. These are things that I never, ever would have looked into. I never would have, even taken a second glance at until all of this happened, and now, I've spent countless hours digging into all of this stuff because, well, I want there to be accountability somewhere. I know that eventually it will be, I know that there will be accountability. I know that, eventually there's going to be a trial, I don't know when. But I want every, I want there to be accountability on all parts, and I want it to be, don't want this to happen. This should not, it continuously happens every single day, and so honestly, it makes me sick. I don't know. So this is why I'm always talking about child abuse. And I know I've figured out that unfortunately I have to talk about a little bit of my own personal case to even, otherwise I'm just, it's landing on deaf ears, because it makes me so sad. And I hate to even say this, but the minute I post anything child abuse related, there's no, it's crickets, and that's sad. People, and I get it, because people you don't want to be sad, you don't want, and I get that, I understand, but if this can happen to me, then this can happen to any of you, every single one of you, then, and so that is why, gosh, it sucks to be sad, but, trust me, you're going to feel a whole lot better if that saves a child. If you spot something that's not right and you save a child, you know, like, so there are just things you just have to, you just have to know. You have to know what to look for, and you have to know, like, the proper way to report, you know, who to report it to. And, I don't know, I just feel like these are things that everybody should know. And, yes, he's still in jail. He tried to get bail at one point, right when everything first happened, and that backfired on him. Okay, sorry, I was trying to read through some of these to see if I missed anything, because I had it off for a little bit. Yeah, Allison, I'm going to share the link. Oh, I'm so glad a lot of you have gotten your shirts. No, he hasn't been found guilty yet. We were supposed to be set, we were supposed to be set for trial last week, but, he, tried to have me killed. So, the night before the trial. So he, the trial's been pushed back. And so that is something that, is, now they're investigating that. So, yeah, anybody who wants a shirt, I have a lot of extra ones. I ordered a ton. I've moved my office to Lincoln's room, because my old office, I have my kids' computer in there so I can monitor what they're looking at and stuff online. And so, but I'm trying to get, like, that's all shirts. So, I have a ton. I have a ton for anybody who wants one. They're $20, and I've got long sleeve ones coming. Those are $25. Okay, wait, let's see. You know, and like, even, you know, I was so disappointed with Dr. Phil, honestly, because okay, cool. Yeah, I'll get you guys one. Because the main reason I did that was because there were certain things that I, wanted to bring light to, and they flat out edited all of that out. I mean, which I knew that was, you know, a possibility, but gosh. And so that was really frustrating to me, because that was not, you know, that wasn't, I didn't get paid to do that. That was not something, you know, it was supposed to be really great therapy, which we were already in therapy, but I'm like, oh, well, that's going to be, you know, like, top of the line therapy. Sure. You know, God knows, like, you can never have enough therapy. And I was hoping to, like, bring light to some of, you know, to really make these two main issues, the failure to report and the capital punishment factors. And that was not even in there. There was not anything. It was just, you know, there wasn't anything in there on it. And so that was really frustrating to me. Yes, it is true. They charged him with conspiracy to commit a felony, first-degree murder, the morning that the trial was set to start. No, he hasn't admitted to it, but they have him recorded. He just didn't know, I guess, that he was being recorded. He thought that he was on a smuggled-in cell phone. He didn't realize that the police had a tap on that phone or something. I'm not sure the details of it. Yes, I know. Well, that's why I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I have to talk about, I'm at the point where I have to talk about this, because honestly, it's going to make me crazy. You know, I've just been sitting back here, like, with my mouth shut for so long, knowing that, you know, like, I just feel like there are things that are issues. You know, there are, they're just, you know, things that can be corrected that, you know, Lincoln's, you know, like I said in the beginning, like, you know, what is the reason does he have? He's still denying it, even though my home surveillance captured it, he is still denying. He says that he was kicking my dog. He just is denying everything, basically. So, I don't know if he'll ever confess. I don't know really why. I mean, he's, you know, drug his, you know, family, you know, through I mean, I don't know. It's, you know, he hasn't tried to, like, give an explanation as to what happened to Lincoln. He just is denying it. He's like, I don't know what happened, basically. So, it, yes, Brittany, yeah, oh, hold on, it's knocking me back down to the bottom. Yeah, there's, like, you know, a couple extra measures that, that they're taking and that I'm taking to, you know, keep myself and my kids safe. I feel safe, you know. Okay, whoops, let me see. Yeah, no, I don't understand it either. I never will. It just, you know, and they say, like, you can't see something in somebody that you don't at least have a little bit of in yourself. And so I still, to this day, have, I try to wrap my mind around this. And I just never in my wildest dreams thought that something like this could happen, because I don't think on that level. You know, people on, yeah, I will. I'll upload it on here. Yeah, I never, you know, I don't think on that wave, you know. I don't know what wave that is that he thinks on, but it's just, I don't know. I just, I don't understand it either. Okay, I'm going to, whoops, scroll back through one more time and see if I missed anything. And I will, I'll upload the petition, and I will upload, the link so you guys can all look at your own states and see how pathetic your failure to report child abuse laws are too. And maybe, you know, just maybe, I feel like people will rally around almost anything at this point. So why not rally around children? You know, like, no, I'm not saying that one fight is more important than another, but, you know, I am a woman and I can stand up and fight for myself, you know, like, I don't need, you know, a village of people to stand up and, you know, fight for me. You know, if someone says something that's, you know, racist to me, or something that, I don't agree, you know, trust me, I can fight for myself. I don't need, you know, a village. I do need that village to stand up and fight for all of the kids that cannot fight for themselves. And I hope that doesn't offend anybody, but I just don't get it. The back of the shirt. Can you see? Okay, so that's what it looks like. Yes, he's been charged with a laundry list of things, with a lot. I will. I'll go back through the comments on here, and anybody who wants a shirt, I'll message you. I will keep you guys updated. I really want, you know, if you see something, say something. You just have to, like, kids, so many kids depend on that, you know, and, that's, I'm trying to see if there's anything that I missed. I love you too, Charity. Okay, guys, I'm gonna get off, and I'll upload those links and stuff. And oh, Anita, I'll do another video at some point, talking about, you know, are the capital punishment factors, and you know, in Oklahoma and other states. I know that you live in, I think you live in like South Africa or something, but anyways, okay, I am rambling now, so I am signing off of here.